The more I understand about the computer system, the better payroller I am.
Welcome to our podcast, It's About Payroll. We're your hosts, Brian Escobar and Walter William Duncan III. Whether you're new to the payroll game or a seasoned veteran, we have something for you. Welcome back, folks. This is episode 116 of It's About Payroll. We got an amazing guest lined up for you today, Christine Stolpe. Stolpe? Well, she'll tell us how she pronounces it, how it's
Yes,
pronounced. Well, before that, what's up, man? How you doing, Walt?
I'm good. I say this sometimes, but man, time is flying.
Yeah,
Time
bro.
is flying. I feel like it was just January. Now it's the middle of the month. I mean, middle
Middle
of
of
the
the
year,
year, yeah.
and
Yep.
like, it's just what?
It goes so
Like,
quick. Man. Yep.
it goes really
It
quick,
really, yeah.
man.
It really
But
does. I think, what was that?
I'm good, man. I'm
Cool.
just trying to be appreciative of stuff. What about you?
Likewise, man. Likewise. I know I'm really good, man. I was going to say about that. I remember people saying that when I was younger. Time flies. Da, 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 take advantage. And it's true. And as the older you get, the quicker time just
Yes, bro.
oh my God. So yeah, man. Yeah. On that note, as time is flying, let's go ahead and get into this pay news
Yeah.
update. Start us off. Yeah, I'll start us off. Mine is about a company named Veritas Prime Americas. And they're uniting Veritas Prime US and Veritas Prime Latin Am for an enhanced payroll service and operational excellence. So basically, a company out there that's making some changes to deliver a better payroll product. A little bit about Veritas. Veritas Prime Americas is a leading provider of comprehensive HR solutions, offering a wide range of services, including payroll processing, talent management, workforce analytics, and more. With the
Yes.
commitment to innovation and excellence, Veritas Prime Americas helps organizations optimize their HR operations and drive business success. But what they did is they believe that that as Veritas Prime Americas, they are better positioned to elevate their capabilities and serve their clients with agility, accuracy, and innovation. This transformative consolidation comes in response to the increasing demand for seamless HR solutions throughout the Americas by merging the strength of Veritas Prime US and their Veritas Prime Latin Am. The newly formed Veritas Primes Americas aims to streamline processes, leverage combined expertise, and elevate the client experience to new heights. So, again, it's just an HR company out there that's doing it and basically evolving, right?
Yeah.
One, on this show, we're very brand agnostic. We don't stick on big names and big brands like that's all we're going to talk about. No, there's a ton of HR solutions, payroll solutions out there that are making moves in the world and doing big things and $1 billion companies that we've never even heard of. I love to expose these the brands that we don't really talk about or the mass media don't talk about, right? And
Yeah.
when we talk about payroll, we know about like four brands that everybody
Yeah.
talks about. And again, Veritas Prime Americas is a brand out there that's evolving and doing it better to deliver a better employee experience. And yeah, so look out for them.
Nice,
What do
man.
you
Thank you
got,
for
sir?
sharing that.
Yeah,
So I have an
absolutely.
article from Sana.com. They had an article about innovations in payroll technology and what's new so far in
Oh, look at
2024.
that.
They,
See?
they just posted this article on earlier this month around the 14th. So this article on innovations in payroll technology highlights how advancements are revolutionizing the way businesses handle employee compensation, aiming to streamline their processes, improve accuracy, and ensure compliance. So here's a breakdown of some of those key innovations that they discussed in the article. So they discussed cloud-based payroll solutions and the benefits of those, real-time access to payroll data, enhancing transparency and enabling self-service for employees and managers that are scalable and flexible and integrate seamlessly with HR and accounting software, right? Cost efficiency, and that's big, right? Because especially in a kind of economy that is being tried by inflation, right?
Yep.
And another thing that cloud-based payroll solutions offer is security. And we need security with our data, especially in today's days and age, because we're always reading stories out there about some payroll company or some software company or some company in general being hacked or having that expose their employees' data.
Absolutely.
But number two, it's AI and machine learning. AI, that's going to be a hot topic. That's the next big great
Yep.
thing. AI is going to help automate those complex payroll tasks such as wage calculations, tax deductions, and fraud detection. Machine learning predicts payroll expenses and identifies certain anomalies. The guys over at Celery, they have a great technology that they use to identify those things. So check them
Yep.
out if you're in the market for that. Number three, mobile payroll applications. So they're features that are essential for remote work scenarios. These apps empower employees to view pay stubs, request time off, and access tax documents anytime, anywhere. And it's convenient for them, right? It's convenient for payroll managers to approve their payroll or approve that PTO while they're on the go. If you have an app, you can approve your employees PTO right from that app. So that makes
Hmm.
it more convenient for everyone, right? And if you're the employee, you can request that the same time off and everything like that. You can even probably review your employee handbook in the app as well. So just those different mobile applications help. Blockchain technology. Blockchain provides transparent and secure platform for payroll transactions. So they're seeing more of that on the rise. So because it ensures accuracy through a decentralized ledger, which records and automates those processes via smart contracts, reducing administrative overhead and enhancing data integrity and again security. On-demand pay, as the guys at Pay Active, shout out to Chris and Aaron, how they spoke about the benefits of earned wage access. So more companies are starting to get in line with that, and really this innovation allows employees to access their earned wages before the scheduled payday, which is beneficial for them, right? It promotes financial wellness by reducing reliance on those payday loans and can improve job satisfaction and improve your retention rates. So it's something to consider, right? And employers that offer that can help attract and retain talent, leading to cost savings associated with turnover and hiring and training. These innovations collectively transform payroll management by increasing accuracy and security. So businesses that adopt these technologies not only streamline their payroll processes, but also boost their employee satisfaction. So check out this article. It has a lot more than what we talked about. And before we introduce our guest and have her join, I'm going to have a word from our great sponsors over at TimeTrack Go.
Yes, effective July 1, there is a rule that is changing the salary threshold for salary based employees, for exempt employees. What I was reading wrong here was that it's going in two steps. It's going from
Yeah,
35K now to 43 in on July 1 of 2024 in less than a month. And then on January 1, 2025, it's going from the 43 to 58K there. I'm not sure where they get these numbers from. I don't know, round them out. It's like 43,888 and 58,656. But
less
it's
than a month,
happening
is
in
a week.
two steps. Yeah, go. I
Yeah.
know. So those of us who haven't gotten their analysis to their bosses for a review, do so quickly. Yep. And yeah, and Walt, let us know what that means. What's Time Track Go trying to do with this?
So that could potentially means that there could be an additional millions of additional workers that will be required to track their time and attendance, right?
Yep.
So whether you're new to time tracking or you're just looking to make a change, TimeTrack Go provides a simply better solution that can have you up and running in a matter of minutes, right? So if you follow the link in our episode notes, you'll also get your first month free. So don't miss out. Take advantage of this special offer. Use the link in the show notes to start your 14-day trial in the month of June to qualify for that first month free. If you want to know more, you can go to www.timetrackgo.com. That's TimeTrack Go.com. Or you can call 888-321-9922. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So today, we're thrilled to welcome a highly accomplished global payroll professional with extensive experience in both domestic and international payroll operations. She excels in ensuring accurate payroll through effective leadership. She brings a wealth of knowledge in payroll processing and setting up multiple state and localities for payroll. Her professional vision is to drive payroll quality assurance, focusing on compliance, accuracy, and timeliness. We all messed up with our words today. And known for fostering a teamwork approach with patience and cohesiveness. She leads by example, adhering to a no hypocrite policy and the golden rule. Please welcome to the show Christine Stolpe. I believe it's Stolpe. If you would help us pronounce it, or Stolpe.
Yes.
We're so happy to have you. We just introed you, so you'll hear that when you hear the episode. And we're so happy to have you on. And
I'm
let's
so
look.
honored to be here.
Yes, thank you. It was amazing
Yes.
meeting you at PayCon. And like always, we get everybody started with their origin stories, and we do a little twist now because of the great Jody. Tell
Yes.
us what your origin story, how you got into payroll, but also tell us why you stood.
Oh, why I stayed in payroll. Got
But
Yeah.
it.
first, get into it. How'd you get into payroll? But then, why did you stay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, how I got into, am I allowed to just say I fell into it?
Of course.
Yeah. But
I think
how?
the only person who chose so far is like me and one other person that we know of that chose.
Who was
payroll.
that? Who was the other person?
It was somebody we had on as a guest. They said, I'm just trying to
They
lump somebody
chose
in
it?
with me. So never mind.
No, I don't remember. I think Walt is still the only person that chose to go into payroll.
Oh my gosh.
Tell us how you felt.
So, it was a semi choice in that I started in human resources
Okay.
and I had a knack for computers. So, I was really HRIS systems, trying to put human resources things into computers was very much my thought process, right? Is we have these great computers that'll do all the thinking for us, let them do it.
Right.
We just have to teach them how to do it, right?
That's right.
It's the same thing we're
Gotta
doing
set it
with
up right. Yep.
all the
Yeah.
AI stuff that we're talking about today. So when I got into human resources and I was on like my third or fourth job, I was working in a hospital system in Northern Nevada, and the person who was doing payroll there, friendly with me, colleague, friend-ish, she got my check wrong.
Oh wow.
She got your check wrong?
And
oh, crap.
she got my check wrong. Yeah. So I won't say she got it wrong. My check was wrong. There was an error on my check.
I love
right?
it. There you go.
And I knew that I had done everything that I was supposed to do because I am a rule follower. I was raised by a lawyer. That's what I do.
Okay.
So, so I had followed all the rules. My check was wrong. I went and sat with her, and we did a root cause, go through the whole process to figure out what had happened, why it was incorrect. And okay, now we know what happened. So we were able to make the correction on the next paycheck while I sat with her to make sure that the error didn't happen again to me or to anyone else.
Oh gosh.
Since it seemed that there wasn't any like safety in place to make sure that mistake hadn't happened in the first place. So 2 weeks later, I'm sitting with her again, helping her develop a checklist. 2 weeks later, I'm the payroll processor and my friend had made a decision to work elsewhere.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there you go.
There you go. There you go. That was a bit of intention there.
Go.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You fix this. Now you won the job.
Yeah. She made the decision that it wasn't for her. And her boss called me and said, I know you've been over here the last 3 payrolls. You want to just come do it full time?
Wow.
And I thought, yeah, I can do that.
Nice.
And it was just such a perfect blend that I've never left because I still have that HR mindset, right? Because if you don't, then you forget who's at the end of the paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's right.
It's not just about me being right. It's about them getting paid right. So it's a win. So that's why I stayed.
Yeah.
And
that's why I stayed.
I love it. And you know what? It's in a line because I always say on the show, Anita Latink says it in her book, payroll starts as soon as the HR system is updated or changed, right? Like it starts in HR and then it goes down. So yeah, I love it. I love it. So wow.
My mantra, I have a mantra. It's a big block on my very front homepage on my website.
Yeah.
It says that payroll is the rope in the tug of war between human resources and finance. One has the data we need, and
Yes.
one has the data, and then one wants the data that we have.
Yes.
Yes, I
I
love that.
love that.
I love that.
I love that. Yup. Oh man, we kind of yeah. See, we're gonna get all
And,
these mantras
and,
together, all this stuff. Go ahead.
and Christine, could you let us know what your website is for the listeners so they know where to go?
Of course, it's www.wagescreek.com.
Love it.
Wages like getting paid, and
Yep.
then creek like a river.
All right.
Because it
Great.
flows. Was that the motivation?
It's a double entendre, to be
Okay.
sure. There's the money flows,
Uh-huh.
Wages Creek, and my great grandparents purchased land way north in California and established a corporation to own the land so that we could keep it in the family for generations.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
the road that you turn off the highway to get to our property is Wages Creek.
Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. That's the
awesome.
best story.
That's
Yes,
amazing. I love it.
amazing.
Like it was
Yes,
written for you to be in payroll. Oh my
yes.
goodness. And
It's
let
written
me
in the
tell you,
Something
stars.
like that.
let me ask you this. How long has your website been around out there on the internet? Okay.
I
Because
think I started it in 2019.
Okay.
that's because when me and Walt started this and we were starting to look for content, and I think we mentioned that PayCon that our motivation was really because we were developing an app, and then we were like, okay, let's do the podcast, let's
Mhm.
payroll, let's dive in. And I was looking for content, and I'm pretty sure I found your website, Wages Creek, because, and I'm even told Walt, I'm like, oh, Walt, there's somebody out there, they're putting out content. We're gonna have to find out more. But I think I signed up and all that, and it was just like, wow. Because I remember the Creek part, like the Wages Creek, and I was like, interesting name, so it just stuck out. So
Yeah.
I've been, yeah, as I had found it then, and then come fast forward to a month ago, we meet you at PayCon, and it was amazing. Perfect segue, right? You had shared some stuff with us at PayCon. What are you comfortable sharing with about like the solutions that different
Yeah.
things that you've developed over the years that are out there?
I am actually over the moon to share about
Yes.
what I've developed and what I'm still working on developing. So when I started in payroll all those many moons back when my friend Lisa got my check wrong, one of the things that I stepped into to really wrap my brain around payroll as a whole, as a community, as a genre, as a necessity of life, was I stepped into implementations with Intuit Payroll.
Mhm.
And so I had to learn an awful lot about supporting payroll outside of my little box, which was Reno, Nevada at the time. So any payroll job I'd had, all my employees were in Reno or Sparks or Silver
Oh.
Springs
Oh
or
wow.
Carson City, or I might have had one or two from Truckee, but we were a Nevada company, so we didn't have to do state income tax from California if we didn't opt to. Once upon a time, that was the rule between the two states. So we just made the decision not to. So I was really only processing single state payroll for a state that didn't even have income tax.
Wow,
So
that's
my job
right.
was really easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I started it Intuit, I had clients from all over the country,
Oh.
right? We had charter schools from Kentucky. We had mom and pa shops from Florida who didn't have state income tax, and from Washington who didn't but does. And it just didn't, all these different things. And all of a sudden I was like, okay, I'm learning how to build this puzzle
Yep.
of 50 states, and
Yep.
it's not 50 puzzle pieces. In California, there's 2 puzzle pieces. In
Oh gosh.
Nevada, there are 3. Even though we don't have state income tax, there are still 3 puzzle pieces to
That's
opening
right.
a business in Nevada.
Yep.
So it just depends on, look at Washington. Not only do you have Washington Cares, but now you have all of those preschool for all, the housing for all.
Yep.
You've got the locals. So there may not be state taxes in Washington, but depending on where you live, you're paying extra taxes. So
Washington
having to
State,
know
right?
all those things.
You're talking about Washington
Yes,
State.
Washington
Okay.
State.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. So again, here's all these things that are bouncing around in my head that I can just start rambling off because they're top of mind. But ask me about Iowa.
Yeah,
Do
you
I
and me
have
both.
employees in,
I can go look it up
right?
really quick. I know where to go look it up. Hey, I got my tools.
Exactly. But how long is it going to take you to look it up? You're gonna have to go to, yeah, you're gonna go to Google, you're gonna type it in, you're gonna make sure you're going to the non-sponsored
That's right.
places.
I got to go
Yeah.
to the state. Want to go to the right place. That's right.
Exactly. Which part of the state website are you gonna get the information that you're looking for? Is it
Love it.
relevant to the actual topic you're
Oh my
looking at?
gosh, you are just
Yes.
Or are you
singing
looking at
music to
something
my
that only
ears. I love it.
applies to 3 things later? So my brain immediately went to put me in a Six Sigma program into it and let me build a state by state how to.
I love
And they
that.
were like, no,
Yep.
because everything changes too often.
Mhm.
And so it would be a constant thing that we would have to do.
Mm,
And I said, okay, so what?
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's do that.
Yep.
Intuit didn't want it.
That's a big
So I wasn't
undertaking.
going to push it.
Yeah, that's a big,
It
right?
would have been.
You know it.
It would
You know
have
that's
been.
a lot. Yep.
Oh, yeah. At the time, I was actually thinking like index flip cards,
Ooh, yeah.
like a Rolodex, right? That way you
Yeah.
can pull one card out and put the right card in, or
Yeah.
erase the information and put the right, I don't know. I was trying to figure out something. So fast forward to the pandemic. 2019 is when I got laid off, which is when my pandemic started.
Yeah.
And then in 2020, they sent everybody home. And so I was working from home. I was self-employed at that point anyway, so it really didn't matter to me. I got really fortunate in that I was able to just keep the wheels running the whole time.
Of course. That's right.
And I also found myself with enough side time with my clients to start building the encyclopedia, which is what I call it. And it is that Rolodex that I was talking about. It's every topic that is payroll relevant
Oh my
and
gosh.
every state as well as territory of the United States of America.
Holy
I haven't
cow.
gone global with it yet, but you can search by state or by topic. And then you get, if you search by topic, you get the topic with all 50 states and the territories and
Wow.
whatever the rule is for that topic. So minimum wages, new employers, SUIs, I like to say SUI, but
SUI,
everybody
yeah.
else knows it. State
Mhm.
unemployment insurance,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So they have wage bases plus they have rates. So my encyclopedia has all of that by tabled. And then when you go over to the state side of the encyclopedia, if you choose Kentucky, it will pull up the minimum wage, the SUI rates, the wage base, the local tax rates, everything for Kentucky on one page.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Wow. See,
Much needed, much overdue.
yeah,
Yep.
much needed, much overdue. I think Intuit, not to speak badly about anybody or anything like that, but I think maybe they saw that the work was going to be, they didn't see the benefit of it
No.
at the end
Yeah.
of it. And so
It's
I
short-sighted.
appreciate you, Christine, for doing that. That is amazing. Thank you for putting that out there, because it takes somebody like you, and I know that you care for others in the industry, because not only did you want to do that for yourself, but you wanted to do that for others, I could assume, right? And so
That's it.
for me, can you talk about what inspired you to do it beyond just wanting to educate others? What else inspired you to do that?
To make the lives of other payroll professionals like me even easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want others to have the same struggles
Yeah.
that many of us have had. And it's frustrating to hear here in 2024, those who are in the process of retiring, our baby boomer generation, who basically brought my generation up.
Mhm.
I am a Gen Xer, by the way.
Wise.
They brought us up with these really great values and traditions. And as we're turning them into our own traditions and our own values, they're not loving it.
Yeah.
So I am finding that as part of the struggle. And I think that was part of it with Intuit was it's always going to need to be updated. And who's going to do that,
Yeah.
right? Who's going to create one of these really awesome databases of information and then maintain it?
Yeah.
Because that's the hardest part, right? It's
It is.
building
Yep.
it is a task in and
Yeah.
of itself, because it's taken me 5 years to get it exactly the way I want it to look. And I'm on my third version of it, and I'm on
Wow.
my third platform.
Wow.
The first platform was Excel.
Oh my
Oh
God.
God.
That's where it all starts, right? That's
Yeah.
why we're so good at Excel.
Oh my goodness.
And I still leave it. My whole database does live in Excel.
Yep.
And I keep it there because it's all linked together. But that database is what I use to update the encyclopedia.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
So I just maintain my database, and the pages on the website follow the database.
Holy
That's
moly.
awesome. That's awesome.
So I do have next steps, but I wanted to talk about my why to get to that point.
Yeah.
It's not just about making life easier for myself, right? I don't want anyone else to have to learn the same hard lessons,
Yeah.
right? Learn from my mistakes,
Yep.
learn from the lessons that I've already had.
Yes.
We don't teach because we want things to be done a certain way. That's not how my generation works. That's how the baby boomers worked.
Right.
And that's definitely how the traditionals worked because it's how
Right.
they were taught.
Yeah.
But that's not how we were taught. We were taught see a problem, solve a problem,
Yeah.
right? And I see compliance in the United States across all 50 states and all of the different agencies as a major need.
Yes.
See,
Yeah.
I'm so motivated talking to you, Christine. Oh
For
my
real.
gosh. Oh
For
my
real.
goodness.
I just pushed my request for the access, by the way, because I remember getting it. So I'm like, wait a minute, let me log on. And I don't think I set it up. I saw the invite, but I never set it up. But now you'll see my request there. I think I
Awesome.
joined it finally on Slack because you also have a Slack
I
community
do.
going
I have
on.
a
You want to
Slack
tell us a little bit
community.
about that?
So that was basically, that's a communication tool as far as I'm
Okay.
concerned. It's a knowledge share as
Okay.
well,
I love
right?
it.
Knowledge transfer, knowledge share, but it's really just a communication tool for payroll people.
Love it.
And I try to keep the headhunters at a minimum.
Okay.
I am letting them join when they ask, but I am also keeping them to a minimum, as well as any salespeople from
Cool.
UKG, ADP,
Yep.
Ceridian, and all of that. I try to keep that. If you're here to participate in the community, then fine, great, be here. But if you're here to just post a bunch of ads, I'm probably going to remove you.
Good.
Because
No,
it's my
good, because
community.
I love that. I mean, we're very similar on this show because when we get folks from, they want to promote their brand, but I'm like, that's cool, and you can naturally, because if we're talking about something you solve for us as payroll pros, you're going to talk about the brand. But if you don't have anything to solve and you just want to say, hey, come buy our product, no, we don't have any space for that. If you have a solution, then absolutely we can talk about something, and naturally you're going to talk about your brand. And I get though, and I'm glad you do that, because a lot of times when I'm going out and looking for stuff, you'll see a salesperson, on LinkedIn mostly, you'll see a salesperson, oh yeah, we can do that, come to our brand and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh man, I'm clicking on things like, oh, got to solve. Oh, nope, it's just come look at their product now.
Yep,
So,
it's the same old, right?
exactly.
They like to advertise that they're end
Exactly.
to end. They're not end to end.
Yeah, and
They're end to end with a few handshakes along the way.
Exactly. Exactly. And we're all about solutions. I love, like, payroll people are very solution oriented, very helpful, right? We're always looking to, hey, no, we can help you. We got somebody that reached out to us on LinkedIn now who has so perfect question. We have a tip problem, and maybe I can share the link. She has a question about like how they're doing tipped wages and things like that. But I've never paid with tip wages. It's been a while for Walt. So we're like, ooh, we're gonna get you a solution. So maybe we can share the link with her to jump onto the community on Slack to try to get some help with that, because
absolutely
I'm at a loss. So of course we invite questions, and of course the first question we get is, oh, I don't know. We're gonna help you though.
I replied to her, Brian.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I did, and I got an answer after doing some research and stuff. So
see,
she's
thanks.
good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, see, we're solving problems. There we go. That's how we do it.
Doing my best, Christine.
And to be proactive,
yeah.
In the Payroll Encyclopedia, the tip credits are listed as their own column.
See?
The maximum tip credits.
So go ahead and share that with her anyway, Brian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for real. Well, if you have links, Christine, if you can send it to us in the email, I'll put them in the show notes, and they'll be shared when we post the episode. That would be great. Yeah, for real. Oh, by the way, how do you pronounce?
So both are by invite only.
Okay.
And I just put that out there, right? Go Payroll is the Slack channel, and it's free. We want everybody there.
Right.
We're still on the free part of Slack. And if it ever gets to the point where Slack wants us to start paying because we get to a certain size, or we want to turn on some of the bells and whistles, We already have a sponsorship lined up financially, so I'm
Ooh,
not worried
yay.
about Go Payroll. It's going to be awesome. The thing I like about it the best, of course, is it's free
Yes.
That's amazing.
and it's
Exactly.
managed by payroll people
That's
for payroll
amazing.
people.
That's right. That's how I
Right?
do
I'm
it.
not a social media manager who's trying to build a community of payroll people who doesn't actually understand payroll.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Right?
right.
I'm a payroller.
That's
that's
right.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
one of the best out there, that's for sure. How do you pronounce your last name, by the way?
Stolpe.
Stolpe. See, I was saying it right. Awesome.
Stolpe. Yeah.
Stolpe.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's Scandinavian Norwegian. I believe it's originally pronounced Stolpe.
Ah, okay. Of course. Awesome.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
just want to make sure we get it right for the folks. So what else? What else do you got? You got the encyclopedia. You have the Go Payroll on Slack community. Anything else in the works
Oh my goodness.
that you can that you're willing to
Non-payroll
share?
related, I have a lot in my life, believe it or not. I'm actually opening another website for some handmade blankets that I make on the side.
Ooh,
Oh,
Another shutdown thing, right? I needed something to keep me busy in the evenings since I
yes.
couldn't go to my payroll meetings. So I started finger knitting, and now I make baby blankets and sweaters and scarves and stuff.
wow.
And I
Well,
have such an
share
inventory.
the link. We'll put it in the
I've
show
gifted
notes.
everybody I know, right? Everybody's got at least one or two blankets. And now I still have blankets. So I'm finally going to just start selling them. And I'm going
Yeah.
to open another website. It's half built. It's, again, I know what I need to do. It's just a matter of doing it.
Share it. Share it with
Wow.
us. We'll put it out there. I love
Thank
getting
you.
those different things with payroll folks. What else are you interested
Yeah.
in beyond payroll? And we're gonna play a little game with you in a second that'll get a little bit of stuff out of there. It's don't worry, it's fine. But we do if check out today's episode that that will be out in well, it's actually out there already, but I'll put the ad out for it in a little while. The guest gave us a game. She put us on the hot seat,
Put me on the
and
spot.
Walt took the question, and she gave us a hard question. It was like really hard, and we were like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. So no, don't worry. It's a very fun, and it's built to expose those things beyond payroll, right? Because we don't only do payroll. We have lives. We have other interests.
Yeah. We're
Um,
people.
we're people, right?
Yes.
Me and Walt, I
Yes.
think we're gonna do a fantasy league this year, a football fantasy league. Oh, by the way, we gotta call my boy. He wants to talk to us today about it. And football fantasy, we love football. We're always talking about like sports on the show. There's more to us than payroll, right? But before we get into that, what would you like to see? Where do you like to see payroll go? Where do you think payroll? More importantly, where would you like to see payroll go? Because I think you're one of the most prolific payroll mind, right? And where do you want to see it?
Okay, first of all, I have to take that in because that was a lot bigger than I would play myself off as, first and
That's so you're
foremost.
humble. Okay, me and Walt
I
know
think
it. We see the big.
humility is a necessity in payroll.
It
Yeah,
is.
I
Honestly,
think we
you
all
can't always
very.
think
Yep,
that
that's right.
we can't always think that we're right. When someone asks a question, right, I always go and double check. I don't just say,
Me
"Oh
too.
yeah, I did that right."
I think that's
Yeah.
part of it. I think that, but that's
Yeah,
what makes us really good at with this. Because if you're arrogant, if you're overconfident, no, then you're not going to really be good at this job because you have to double check. Folks always question, Brian, is that compliance right? You know what? Things are changing all the time. Let me double check. Doing that, right? And I learned a hard
exactly.
lesson recently, and I want to get you. I give you time to think about the question while I say this. I learned this with the software system we were using in the past few years, where I had been using the system so long that I was like, no, it doesn't do that. And then I got
Yeah.
a life check on it because then I'm gonna go check anyway. And I checked, and they did change. They changed. They evolved. The system changes, and that really gave me a career check life lesson. And I stopped doing that. And now when folks say, "Oh, can the system do this?" and I'll know that no is probably the answer, but I say, you know what? It hasn't currently, but let me check. It hasn't in the past, but let me check.
Yeah.
It humbled me in that respect because this all these systems are trying to evolve and really at lightning speed, especially now with AI and machine learning. They're growing by leaps and bounds. They're evolving, and I love to see it. So you really do have to really check it. Nothing. I love nothing is static, right? It's very dynamic. And
Hmm.
I learned from one of these payroll conferences. It was like a legal conference that I went to years ago, and it was a lawyer. One of the presenters was a lawyer, and he said, "Listen." You guys are going to ask me a million questions in this conference. Every answer will be, it depends.
Hmm.
Okay.
It depends. Anywho, where would you like to see payroll go?
I would like to see payroll go the way of IT.
What does
See,
that mean?
I like that answer. Yes.
Um, how many companies actually still have an IT department? They don't call it IT anymore, most of them, right? Especially when it comes to big payroll systems. And the big one with the W that's multifaceted and has branches everywhere. I'm finding the teams that use teams. That didn't sound right. The departments that are breaking things into teams within each department. That's the most successful I've seen. However,
I like that.
it was also too big. It was so big that everyone got very siloed and no one could cross cover anyone anymore. So I really think that payroll needs to go the way of IT in that we teach the systems to do all of those checks for us so that we
Yes.
don't have to keep doing them.
Amen.
Right? We're human. We're prone to failure.
Yeah.
It's just a thing.
Yeah.
However, so are computers.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys have been watching the news, but I saw what happened in the airports in the UK, and computer glitches are a thing, man.
Yes, they
They're a
are.
thing.
That's right.
And I've been reading the GPA magazine about the whole Phoenix thing up in Canada. And I can't believe that I didn't hear about that while it was going on.
Yep.
I'm reading about it
Tell us.
after the fact.
Boom, we got a bonus pay news. Go ahead, tell us. What is it about?
Oh, Phoenix?
Yeah.
The entire country of Canada decided to put themselves on the Phoenix payroll system. Every Canadian employee was moved onto this system. They didn't do their parallels correctly. They rushed the project. They didn't do enough testing. There obviously wasn't enough long-term. Who is this going to affect in 12 months when we have to do tax forms and things like that? So here we are, I think they said 6 years later, 4 years later, something like that. And many Canadian employees still aren't whole.
Oh my gosh.
So it was not just wrong payroll, it's full blown missed payrolls, which is something I have never had happen.
Thank God.
Thank you.
Yep.
Knock on some wood here.
Yeah, not exactly. Knock on wood.
Never missed a payroll ever in my entire career. I can't imagine the government missing. Wake up as a public servant and find nothing in your bank account that's owned by the government. They own the banking system in Canada. So it's just been a nightmare. And the fact that they're still dealing with it. And so I've been reading this series in the GPA's magazine. It's called 0405, I think it's called. It's intense. What he did. Really intense. It gives me a new perspective on my friends up north.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, so going back to you'd like to see payroll go the way of IT. I'm not following yet. I don't get it yet. What do you mean?
So not only do we need to know the logistics of payroll, right? Which is a lot, but we have to learn systems. So we're learning logistics and we're learning systems and we're learning do they mesh? And if they don't mesh, how do we work around that in Excel? That's got to go away.
Yeah.
That's where the IT mindset comes in.
I get it.
The logistics need to be the system. The system needs to be the logistics.
Boom.
Yep. Mic drop.
That's the teaser.
We keep talking about AI and machine learning like ad nauseum in payroll.
Yep.
Let's start doing it, right? We've talked about it. We know what we can do with it. So now let's start doing it. And that's where we have to take that step into IT. We have to make the decision to learn something different while we still retain what we already know.
Yep.
I love it.
And that's the way it's got to go.
That's it. Yep. Mic drop.
The more I understand about the computer system, the better payroller I am.
Yeah. Oh, heck
Agreed.
yeah.
Agreed.
And thank you, because that supports one of the things that I do tell folks, and I get annoyed at recruiters when you're in the job hunt. Oh, do you know this system? Do you know that system? No, but I've touched enough systems that I'm going to be good at that system in 2 hours, right? Because I know what it's supposed to do. If it's a
Right.
payroll, it's an HR system, they are all supposed to do the same thing, but the buttons are in different places. Right? It was a joke on one. I think it was like Max from Payzar that put like something out there, and I was laughing because I was like, "Yeah, all the systems are the same. The buttons are in different places." That's not far from the truth. And when you get
Well,
good,
unless
no,
it's the W one, right?
Yeah.
There's no buttons in the W one.
oh, there you go. Okay, so there you go.
There's no buttons. You have to learn a whole new language if you're going to work in the big W.
There you go. Okay, so there you go. Eye opener there, learning point there, right? But for the most part, you know what it's supposed to do. You know how to get at it. So yeah, I love it. I think that's exactly right. It's the way of IT. I like it.
Great stuff. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, it's
it
amazing
really
stuff.
is.
We have a game. It's called This or That.
Yes.
Okay.
You can pick one, the other, neither, both. Doesn't matter. Just some things to help us get to know you beyond payroll. You want to start it off, and you got 6, so I'll do the last 3.
Yep. I'll do the first 3. Number 1, coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee all day.
Coffee all day.
Nice.
All right. What about sunrise or sunset?
Oh, here in the desert, it sunsets.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it must be
Okay.
beautiful, right?
It must be amazing.
Mhm.
Oh,
All the
you got any
different
pics?
colors.
Take a picture.
Yeah.
Send us a pic.
Oh, I have a camera full of sunset
Ooh, I
photos.
would love it.
When I was in San Jose, it was about roses. Here in the desert, it's about sunsets.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
That's
Florida has
amazing.
a nice sunset too. I love sunset time because the sky gets purple and all these colors. It's
Hmm.
awesome. I love it.
Yeah. And you have ocean forever, right? I have
Yeah,
land
land forever.
forever.
Yeah, yes.
All right. Number 3, would you prefer a webinar or an in-person training?
Ooh,
It's a good one from a learner, right?
that is a very good one. Gosh, it depends on my mood.
Okay. Okay.
There you
Fair.
go. Fair.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
I think it's the same for me. I'm like, sometimes I don't want to deal with people, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say, most of the time, I think the in classroom really is more preferable for me,
yeah.
because I can hear the little scoffs and sniffs and giggles and stuff.
Yes.
When I'm on a webinar and people are all muted and I can't hear if the jokes are landing, that's rough.
Yes. Yeah. That's so funny. Yes, that's
Oh
true.
gosh. Yeah.
I like to be able to. I think I could do either, but I like live instead of watching something recorded. Or for instance, for Paycon, we go back and forth about this because they had so many good classes at Paycon, and you literally cannot go to all of them because some of them are at the same time. And then that was one of the things we talked about. I wish we could go to all of them. And Walt was like, "Oh, but you can get the slides." And I was like,
The
"Yeah, but it's
decks.
not the
Yeah.
same. Like
It was
yeah, you get the decks and you can look at, but you can't interact and ask the question that you want. And so
Right.
yeah, it both had there's like pros and cons. Okay,
Yeah.
number 4, Halloween or Christmas?
Christmas.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah,
Yep.
Christmas. Because
Um,
for me, Halloween is an outfit. It's the same outfit every year.
oh,
My mother knit me a vest. She
Oh.
hand knit the vest.
Oh wow.
So it just doesn't make any sense not to wear it every year because I can only wear it once a year.
so what's the costume?
It's just this vest.
The
I put it
vest.
over whatever I'm wearing.
Okay. There you go.
There you go. I love it. I love it.
I've gone full blown before for costume contests and stuff, but made a complete boob of myself in public multiple times. I even do that at the conference at
Paycon.
PayCon.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Halloween, right? Laurel and I
Yeah.
dressed up
I
as
had no
one of the
idea.
holograms one year.
Ooh.
Wow.
I had no idea that that was something. There's a costume contest also. But
Yes.
see,
Oh
and I
yeah.
love that part of Paycon because it really just promoted we're more than payroll, right? We're just not just payroll.
Yes.
All right, number 5, Seattle or Portland? Ooh, tough one.
I have family in both, so I'm
Ah,
gonna say
see?
Seattle because Bainbridge Island.
Oh,
Okay.
what's that
Okay.
about? What's Bainbridge Island?
Bainbridge Island is a suburb of
Okay.
Seattle,
Okay.
and you have to take a ferry to get there,
Ooh, okay.
and that's where my aunt and uncle lived.
Yep.
Nice, and it's beautiful there.
Oh,
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's the best part of Seattle.
You know that part too, Walt? You know that?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
look at you.
yeah. I worked for FEMA. When I worked for FEMA many years ago, I was in Seattle for a year or so. So I got to
Wow.
travel around and see that. I didn't get to go to Bainbridge. I heard about it.
You
I was
knew of it.
told
You
all
heard
about
about
it.
it.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. And the last one is, would you prefer a road trip, car rides, or fly?
Oh, absolutely the car rides
Yeah.
because I have the best seat on the road.
What's that?
My husband and I in 2022 flew to Texas and bought a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van
No
and drove it home.
way.
Wow.
Oh, so you all about the road trip.
Yeah, so that's my office on the road. We have Wi-Fi on board,
I can-
and so the passenger seat in the front of that van is my happy place.
I love
Wow.
it. Good
Uh,
job. Walt is doing really good. He curated these questions, so he really nailed it then. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love
So,
that question.
yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
See, nailed it. All right. So that was this or that. And then we do have one more segment before we go.
Okay.
We call it Safe Talk, and we always like the guests to be a part of it because at first it was just me and Walt yabbering on
Yeah.
to each other. And it was like, wait a minute, let's bring the guests in on these. So today's Safe Talk question is, do all payroll pros have to be a people person? Do you think all payroll pro? Ooh, see, is a good one.
No.
And no.
Okay.
You want to elaborate a little bit?
So the answer is no, because not everyone needs to be forward facing.
Okay.
That's yeah.
Fair.
If you're a one person team, you gotta have some people skills.
Yes.
Just straight
Right.
up, right? If it's just you and you are payroll,
Yep.
you gotta be nicer, right? You guys remember the movie Monster Inc.?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to deal with Roz as their payroll person? Right. You haven't turned in your time card.
Yeah. My favorite movies too with the kids. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
But no one wants Roz rolling into their office. You haven't turned in your time cards. No one needs that, right? But you make it fun, right? I'm the time card fairy. I haven't seen yours come in yet. I'm here to collect it. Or run around and say everybody who turns in their time card on time gets an extra payday, and it's a candy bar.
Yeah.
Oh, love that's so
There's
funny.
all things that we can do to be
That's so
people
funny.
without
I
having
love
to
it.
actually be people. Just
Yeah.
give them some candy.
Yes.
Dance around in a tutu for a day, make a complete boo-boo out of yourself, and guess what? Everybody will know who you are,
Yeah.
I love that.
and you'll start getting a little bit of that respect, and not even respect, just acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement.
It's just straight up acknowledgement.
Yep. It was funny. I miss the days that I used to go hand out checks.
Okay.
And even some companies kept the tradition so that even though everybody got direct deposit, you would still hand out the stub.
Mhm.
And I miss those days because you had a moment to connect with people and the manner. Oh my God, like people were happy to see you come. Ooh, payday, you got my check, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
So it
ask
was
you a
different.
question.
Yeah, you get asked questions and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Walt, what
My
do you
favorite
think?
was company events, right? And I would go and stand at a table of complete strangers because it's just what I do. It's not like I had a whole lot of friends at work on payroll.
Yep.
I have acquaintances, but
Yep.
I try not to make too many friends at work because friends always want favors.
Yep.
And you can't do that in payroll. But I would go and stand at a table full of, could have been engineers, could have been salespeople. I didn't know, right? I would just
Yeah.
walk up and I'd stand and go, "Hi guys, what do you do here?" And they go, "What do you do?" I go, "Oh, nothing important. I just do payroll." And they go, "Whoa, what do you mean not important?"
Yeah.
Exactly.
So find out about them, and then they would ask, "And what do you do?" And
Yeah.
no big deal. I
Right.
just run your payroll.
Yeah.
It's a
Just
way to
get your
connect.
check, see?
It's a way to connect with
Yeah.
the others. Yeah. What about you, Brian? What do you feel?
Well, payroll not sure have to be payroll. No, I think I agree with Christine wholeheartedly because I used to be not forward fate when for my first payroll, like my first full time payroll job for corporate, I was not forward facing. I would only talk to the office managers at
Mhm.
each location, and I would work through them on issues. And then I think over time, as my boss saw that I was a people person and like I knew what I was doing, he was like, you could talk to people if you want. And then I was able to start talking to directly to the employees, especially like if issues escalated. And I think the office managers too, they were comfortable and they were confident. They were like, oh, you know
Yeah.
what? Brian knows what he's doing. You know what? Why don't you explain this? Because I can't. It evolved into it. But yeah, I agree. It's not always that you have to be. And in the bigger departments, you really don't have to have your payroll person forward facing if you don't want them to be, or you don't have to have your HRIS or their IT of payroll. They could be in the background. So yeah, it depends. It depends. What do you think, Walt?
Because I'm thinking about what it means to be a people person, right? I think when I think people person, that means being sociable. It means stuff like so. If I think about it in that context, then I'm leaning a little bit more towards because you deal with people, but that's probably because of
Mhm.
my own disposition. Christine said, I wouldn't want to deal with somebody in payroll that was like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. I wouldn't want to deal with anybody like that. So I don't know. So for me, I think a little bit, but in order to do payroll successfully, do you have to have it? If I had to pick a yes or no answer, no. The answer is no.
That's a different question. Do you have to
Yeah,
be a people person to be good at payroll? No,
yeah,
not at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
Not at all. Some of the best of us are not really good people because they're amazing at understanding the compliance, understanding how that logistics, understanding the systems, and your
yeah.
check is 100% accurate every single time. Do you need that? Do
Hmm.
you want to have? No, look, you just work on my check. Don't worry about the niceties of things. So yeah, good
Yeah,
conversation. I
it's
love
great.
it. I love it. Thank you so much, Christine, for joining us today. What an amazing
Absolutely.
opportunity for us to talk to
Thank you for
you.
having me.
Yeah, of course.
Shoot, absolutely.
And before we
Um,
end it, Christine, do you have any words of advice or wisdom for any payroll pros out there to close the show?
I will tell people what I tell people all the time, and that is trust yourself as far as you're comfortable trusting yourself,
I love it.
Okay.
right? If you're trusting yourself and you've learned what you've learned and you know what you know, then you know it.
Okay.
But if you don't know it, go learn it.
All right.
Mic drop. I love it.
Mic drop for real.
Perfect. Yep.
This is awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Christine. We love having you. And I look forward to learning more about the tools and things. And yeah, we'll be in touch.
Awesome.
Before we sign off, here are a couple quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok.
Thank you for being part of our payroll community. And thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.